If you're a man and you're not trying to become rich and powerful, I don't know what the fuck you're doing with your time. If you're a man and you're not motivated to do anything it takes to get into the winner's circle, the main characters, if you're not dedicated, you don't have the motivation, if you're not prepared to do whatever it takes to get to the top, I don't know what the fuck you're doing with your life.
When I was 16, you didn't see money. I didn't see money. I didn't have the internet. I didn't see private jets. I didn't know Monaco. I didn't know Saint-Tropez was a place. I didn't know about girls on yachts. I didn't know about anything. I'm growing up in England completely flat broke. And the first time I had access visually to money, I knew I couldn't live as a second-class citizen any longer.
You either want it or you don't. Truthfully, if you want it, it's impossible to fail.
I make all of this clear to people, and I say that money is a competency test. You simply need to want it. If you want it, you're going to get it. But you're not going to get anything in this life you do not want. If you want to get rich, I absolutely guarantee you will get rich. You have the entire world at your fingertips, and you're still not motivated, and you still don't care enough, and you're still not prepared to try something new.
You have to wake up and you have to give a shit. You have to wake up and go, you know what? I'm responsible for my health, and I'm responsible for my finances, and I'm responsible for my family, and I'm responsible for the decisions I make, and I'm responsible for my work ethic, and I'm responsible for my motivation, and I'm gonna win. That's all you have to do to be monumentally wealthy. Yeah. And the reason it is so easy is because most people can't do that. If everyone could do that, then to win would be hard. The primary objective of financial freedom isn't Lambos and yachts and these things. It's to not have constant anxiety, stress, and worry and complaints about health, or your mother needs you, or your car breaking down. It's just knowing that all of life's little problems can be fixed because you have money, because you can pay someone else to fix them. To achieve this dream, men in the 1800s would get into wagons and cross the uninhabited terrain, risk murder or kidnap, risk malaria or typhoid, and if they made it alive, they'd buy a shovel and stand in the desert heat all day long, digging in the sand for little pieces of gold. People lost their lives for a chance at financial freedom. And nowadays you say to someone, you haven't got to do that. You don't have to take a 6-week journey across unexplored terrain and risk your life. You haven't got to do that. You know what you have to do? You have to type on a keyboard. Yeah, later. How the fuck do you help these people? What can I do? You deserve to lose. I don't feel sorry for you at all, because when I had nothing, I'd do anything it took. What allows me to compete and predict the future, because everything's so chaotic? The only thing I can predict is that I'm going to work harder than everyone else. I'm going to get up earlier than everyone else. I'm going to pay more attention than everybody else. I'm going to research harder than everyone else. I'm not going to feel sorry for myself. I'm going to find some money. That's what I'm going to do. It's almost like go 100% in on yourself season. Going all in on Bitcoin might backfire. Going all in on property might backfire. But going all in on yourself will never backfire. Right. I, as a man with enough money to never work again for the rest of his life, am spending my days consciously searching and actively planning and trying to identify trends and new ways to make money and new patterns to make sure that I'm not caught last when things do finally shift or change. But a brokey with no money at all doesn't bother.
What the fuck is wrong with you? What is wrong with you where you cannot type on a keyboard to achieve all of your dreams? What is wrong with you where you cannot go to the gym and lift enough weights to be self-confident enough to get any woman that you desire? Do you want to lose? Are you so desperate to perma-fail? It's not a lack of motivation. It's you who have a personality fault. There is something wrong with you that is preventing you from being the man that you could be. And this is the beauty of life as a man. There's nothing better than blaming yourself for absolutely everything that's ever happened to you, waking up and realizing it was all your fault and you're the only one who can fix it. 99.9% of girl problems are your fault. It's not women are crazy because she doesn't respect you enough because you haven't done anything which is important or difficult enough to garner her respect. That is your problem. 100% your problem, and you must take responsibility and accountability for that exact thing. Life as a man is so brutally simple. You wake up and you blame yourself for everything. You look in the mirror and you say, all of this shit is my fault. So how do I get it fixed? Nobody gives a shit about you. You have to give a shit about yourself. It is down to you and you alone, because nobody else is waking up each day thinking of how they can get you to have more money and you to have a nicer life. They're too busy worried about themselves. If you're a brokey, you don't even fucking love anybody. You don't even love yourself. That's the level it's reached now at this point where the world's so fucked
When I see a person at 40 years of age with no money and no drive, I really want to make it out. So you don't give a shit about your family. You don't give a shit about your last name. You don't give a shit about anybody. I don't like you because I'm a trier. We have different life philosophies. I can't get along with you. We can't correlate. I'm a trier. You're refusing to try. I don't like those people because those people, every time I've ever tried to give them a chance, has done nothing but drag me down. I can't drag them up. I can't get them anywhere, but they managed to anchor me. So if you're a full-grown man and you're watching this and you do not have the capability to take your entire family and move to Tokyo tomorrow, if you don't have that kind of finance or capability, you need to take a long, hard look in the mirror and say, what the fuck does my love even mean? What kind of head of the family even am I? I can say I love my wife all day long. I can say I love my kids all day long. What does that even mean if I'm not going to finish work and take an extra hour out of my day to try something new? Your love means nothing if you don't try.
I was so sick of myself. I was so bored in my life, man. I was so tired of being mediocre. You ever say to yourself, man, it's got to be more to my life than this? If you've ever said that, that's because it is. If normal is getting on your nerves, then you got to change something. Being mediocre was driving me crazy. Poverty, I was sick of it.
See, that could be the day. The day you can say, I've had it. I don't want to live like this anymore. I've had it with lying and being broke. I've had it being on my knees in the dust looking for pennies. We're not living like this anymore. Commit an act that says, I've had it. What shall I do?
The first step is getting completely and brutally honest enough to say, I am tired of myself. That's when you're ready to say these words, no more excuses.
The best advice I can give you came from a wealthy friend of mine who said, if it's easy, do it easy. If it's hard, do it hard. Just get it done. Shortly put, I'll do it or die. The world has a strange way of stepping aside when somebody says, I'll do it or die. Promise yourself you will never give up. How long should a baby try to learn how to walk? How long? How long would you give your average baby before you shut him off? See, any mother in the world would say, you're crazy. My baby's going to keep trying until it learns how to walk. What a magic formula.
Nobody believes in you. You've lost again and again and again, but you're still looking at your dream, reviewing it every day and say to yourself, it's not over until I win. You've got to make it your personal business to make it happen. The people that are living their dreams know that if it's going to happen, it's up to them. And they're resolving within themselves, it's not over until I win. No matter how bad it is or how bad it gets, I'm going to make it.
Although the climb is difficult, it's arduous, yeah, sure. It's gonna hurt on the way up, but it's worth it.
You're not tired, you're just undisciplined, you're not unlucky, you're just wasting time, and deep down you know it. Every scroll, every snooze button, every wasted hour is another nail in the coffin of the man you were supposed to become. While you're sitting there, paralyzed, distracted, your future is bleeding out. You're not behind because of where you were born, you're behind because of how you use your hours. You're broke, you're distracted, and you're stuck not because life is unfair, but because you've treated time like it's some infinite generous friend that'll wait while you procrastinate. Time is cold, ruthless, and non-refundable. You'll never get a refund on a wasted hour. And that's what makes it the most valuable thing you own. People fear losing money. They fear being cheated out of $100, 0 cents. But they give away days, weeks, even years like they're disposable. The man who owns his first hour owns his whole day. The man who owns his day owns his future. You cannot afford to see how the day goes. That mindset is a guaranteed ticket to mediocrity. The only difference between the winners and the watchers is that the winners took time seriously before they had success. You've got no plan, no urgency, no structure. You wake up at random, you scroll until your brain is mush, you chase dopamine all day long, and then wonder why nothing in your life is moving forward. Let me be brutally honest. Your schedule is a reflection of your self-respect. You've been told success is luck or privilege or some hidden secret. It's not. It's math. It's reps. It's what you do from 6 a.m. to 10 p.m. that builds the life you're begging for. And the best part, you control it. You don't need to be a genius. You just need to win the next hour. You don't need more motivation, you need structure. You need to look in the mirror and say, every hour I waste, my dream gets further away. Because that's the truth, and the truth, when accepted, becomes your weapon. Stop negotiating with laziness. Stop debating with your comfort. Every time you hesitate, you give weakness room to grow. Every time you delay, you invite mediocrity into your future, and then you act surprised when success doesn't show up. You want to feel proud of yourself? Earn it. Track your time like it's gold. Wake up with purpose, move with urgency, build something. The dopamine you get from scrolling is weak compared to the power you feel when you're locked in, focused, disciplined, and unstoppable. If you don't master your time, someone else will. Your boss, your bills, your excuses, they'll all own you because time doesn't care who wastes it, it just moves on. The most dangerous thing about time is how silently it leaves. 1 minute you're 21 thinking you got forever. The next you're 35 wondering where the hell the decade went. You ever sit down for 5 minutes and realize you've just wasted 5 years? That's how time hits you when it's gone. Quiet, subtle, and then one day it screams. It doesn't tap you on the shoulder, it punches you in the face and says, you could have been a millionaire by now. That's the pain no one wants to talk about. Not the pain of failure, but the agony of wasted potential. Because failure at least means you tried. But wasting time, that means you didn't even show up. You ever wonder why you feel anxious, why you scroll for hours and still feel behind? It's because your brain knows the truth. It knows you're supposed to be doing more. It knows the gap between who you are and who you could be is growing. Every scroll, every snooze button, every wasted hour is a bullet to your own progress. And the scariest part, you're the one pulling the trigger. You know what's terrifying? The idea that someone with half your talent is winning simply because they respect time more than you do. They didn't need to be smarter, they just woke up earlier. They just stopped making excuses. They just said, enough. Every minute you spend watching others live is a minute you could spend building your own empire. There are 1,440 minutes in a day. What are you doing with them? Sleeping 10 hours, arguing online, waiting for a sign? The man who understands time doesn't chase women, clout, or trends. He chases progress. Because he knows when you respect time, everything else chases you. Be the man who never wastes a second. Be the man who wakes up with a mission. Be the man who builds days like blueprints for legacy. That's not just success, that's power. That's how you crush the weak, the lazy, the distracted, because they're too busy wasting time and you're out here turning every hour into war.